Hey everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thank you so much again for joining me here. Hope you're having a great day. Happy Saturday to you. Taking a look again here at SUI, seeing what's going on. This is very sweet, the price action that we're seeing here. Hope you saw and understood what I did there. But this is awesome. All jokes aside, price did not pull back. As I mentioned before, if you are interested in getting into a long position, consider averaging in at the 470 mark, and consider also a secondary or tertiary target in like the 455 range. That's at 0.618 golden pocket. While that never happened, super happy either way you look at it, that our community was able to secure some solid profits here. A good 58.6% in 2 days. Basically, we took a long from 434 to the 525 range. So awesome stuff there. That worked out very well. Let's take a look at the back-end liquidation data and kind of see what's going on. Because when we looked at this yesterday, just kind of give you perspective on SUI, we can see here it is. Look at that liquidation pocket between $5 and $5.30. Big chunk of liquidation. And we're gonna go ahead and see that here too. If you take a look, majority of that liquidation, that heavy liquidation, just got swept really hard. So there's still some left, of course, between 530 and 570. These are not only late shorts, but also early shorts too, that had liquidation levels and or stop losses in that area. Okay. So a lot of them have had to calibrate. Most are adjusting their stop losses probably because they're concerned, and others just got totally stopped out. So again, this is not a coin you want to take a short into. There's a chance that it could continue to pull back. A lot of folks are probably shorting now because of it. In fact, that is reflected here. You can also see too, there's some heavy shorts at about 535. Or at least their liquidation and or stop losses is set to that level. So just keep in mind, coins like this have a tendency of waking up and hitting those levels multiple times. So I wouldn't be surprised if it's not finished yet. We do have a pretty good amount of liquidation delta here. In other words, it's not super maxed out. It's pulling back with that natural profit taking. So this is actually a very good situation. The truth is, when this is solid green like this, you don't really short into that. So if you're like the kind of person that likes to lose money, go ahead and short this coin. If you'd like to earn money, maybe consider not doing something that's so high risk that it's ridiculous. Okay. Now again, coins when they're overextended like SUI will pull back. It's natural to pull back. It may even retrace to $5. It's a common retracement area, which is just generally that natural resistance range, right? Heavy round number, very large round number. It's common for to see a lot of support in those areas. Anyways, let's take a quick look here at open interests and just kind of understand or identify where people are hedged the most. We can see the most amount of interest here is, drum roll please, 527. Oh, I hate to see this, but these are some late longs here. Super late longs in the red currently. I don't know why we're getting so heavy at this level, but some folks probably had a lot of FOMO. No matter how you look at it, 510 and 495 are those secondary and tertiary areas there of interest. That does exclude, of course, there is an area here at 442. I think we're a long ways from that. That's the price point in which we got in for a long in that 435 range. And essentially, just before it broke out, because it had this pretty obvious bullish type of flag with a retest at local high, it just made sense. Now, I don't normally recommend breakout trading, but that is a case in point where you can definitely be, you can find benefit if you find the right opportunities. But again, there was a lot of confirming factors at that time. You don't just take a breakout trade because you think it's going to break its trend line. Okay? There's a lot of reasons to not do that. Anyways, that's a conversation for another day. Let's go ahead and talk about the daily time frame and work our way down and just verify a few things. There's going to be nothing bearish about the daily time frame. Most time frames are going to be extremely bullish, but we're going to look for potential overextensions, and of course, we'll have to redraw out our fib levels here too. I'll go ahead and remove this heavy liquidation area. And again, we can see a perfect retest, that 530 of, sorry, not a retest, just an initial test of that 1.414 fib level. Keep in mind too, folks, don't put too much emphasis on fib levels. This is just kind of a good guide. A lot of times when you set profit targets, you set them just below these levels. Like our profit target for our SUI trade, I'm pretty sure was 525, which is just below this 530 mark. So anytime you take a trade, long or short, whatever, consider securing profits just before those fib levels or resistance levels, right? So just know that's a very real thing. Now, I don't generally recommend drawing out your fib levels until the daily candlesticks have closed yet, but just for the sake of this illustration and for retracement purposes, I'll go ahead and put that up here right now. And just to clarify, again, we're above all moving averages. We can see here that we are above 50, of course, we've been for a while, and stochastic swinging up, money flow index is right there with it. There's a lot of reasons why we're in pretty good shape here, and there's absolutely nothing telling us the price should turn around soon. Keep in mind, natural pullbacks are very standard. I wouldn't be surprised we see a bullish backtest of the local high. Okay, so again, previous to just recently, we can see 496 was that high. Round number $5. It's easy to say round number 5 because most people will remember that. They'll set limit orders, both profit and entry targets at that level. Okay, so it's important for you to maybe try 501 or 499 instead, right? But the key takeaway here is that is going to be a support range for us. The $5 plus or minus a few cents is going to be that area of support. Okay, because once again, it was a previous resistance range. We can see here 496 as a close approximate was that level. Okay, so just know that that exists, right? So that is an important factor, but daily time frame, super awesome. Daily time frame is good. We can check that off the list. 4-hour time frame, we're looking here. Everything's pretty solid with the moving averages. We got this perfect descending trend line until the price comes back down to retest or break below the 20, you do not short, okay? And again, I know you're probably thinking, wait a minute, there's juicy profits. I could get a 10% drop. With 50x leverage, that's 500%. You can hear the sarcasm in my voice because people do this all the time. They'll get destroyed and then they'll come over to my community asking me to help them, okay? So I'm trying to get ahead of it by saying this, even though not everybody's going to listen. If you're gonna hear anything, listen to the undertones, the sarcasm that I'm trying to lay out here, and it's the fact that you shouldn't be doing stuff you're not supposed to, right? This is a massive breakout. There's no reason to short into it. Yes, it's overextended, but the likelihood of it pulling back quite significantly is low for the moment. Even though it's natural and normal for it to happen, you don't try to trade in that direction because the statistics of success are much lower. That's it. Simple as that. We're also over 70 in the RSI here on the 4-hour. This is a very specific area of interest. In other words, you want to pay attention to the RSI when it comes back down below 70. That's when you maybe want to consider securing profits on your long. Now, granted, we secured profits on our long because we already had 4 profit targets achieved. There's not much left to really secure. So, 435 to 525, we hit that target, and it's time to move on to a new estimate, right? Do we take a long right now at 520? I don't personally think it's a great idea. I don't want to be a statistic here and be in the red here. If you look at open interest, there's a very heavy position at about 527. So that's going to be a new resistance for us, and we can talk about that later. But the whole point of it, me mentioning this, is that you're more likely to find success taking a long, regardless of what I just said, based on this metric, and you do not consider closing your position until it comes down below. Reason why we secured profits is because we set that target before we took the trade, and it's important to make sure that you always adhere to your goals. You don't just start changing and adjusting. If you've ever adjusted your stop loss because your stop loss is almost ever triggered, you're probably guilty of that. Okay, and it's normal, it's natural to want to try to save a trade, but a lot of times you have to just kind of let your trade do what it's supposed to do. It depends on the trade, of course. But me personally, being as generally just most of my trades are all swing trades, I think it's important to recognize that those are you gotta stick to the game plan, right? Set a goal, stick with it. If you don't set goals or targets, you're just totally doing it wrong. Easy to say, of course, from the sidelines. I get it, but I do this every day, and I can assure you that I stick to my guns in most cases. There's been occasions where I have had to adjust a stop loss. But it's only in preparation of seeing some divergence or shifts in momentum, typically from Bitcoin that affect altcoins. Anyways, no trader's perfect. I've only got, I think last month we were 83% success rate. So again, it's not that, nobody's perfect, right? But if you take a look here, SUI has been pretty solid on our profit target. I think we hit, 4 out of 5 solid SUI longs. Maybe one. Actually, you don't see any SUI shorts here. All right, there's a reason for that. You don't short this coin. Okay, so Ichimoku Cloud confirming 100% that you leave your position open. You don't consider taking a short into this. There's a tremendous amount of support. There's nothing here contributing to the price action planning to pull back. Again, I get it. Overextended, great. We're gonna short at the top. You never know where the top is, folks. This coin's in price discovery now. It's going to probably continue much higher. In fact, we can reverse our fibs here and get perspective on where that might be, just to give you kind of anticipation. We could very well see 568, 587, or even 615 as the next potential areas. Okay. Again, that's just strictly hypothetical. I'll include that on our playout chart here shortly. I'll update that. The last thing I want to touch on here before I let you go is just reinforcing that $5 potential. There's a decent chance that the price does pull back from here. We'll see somewhere in the range of $5 be that pivot point. Okay, Again, the coin should retrace here soon, so don't get it twisted. The realisticness here is that it's overextended, the likelihood of pulling back is greater. However, the overall sentiment here, when you look at everything, the general consensus is that it's super strong and you don't short into it. So I don't care if the price pulls back to 450. I'm not going to try to take a short no matter what until that price bottoms out, and I'd be much rather taking a long. And the reason why is because this is a coin you just don't short into. While we are overextended here, we've been moving for what, 36 hours straight, 9 times 4. We're due to capitulate. It may not happen, so just be mindful of that. Now, do I want you to take a long at the top here? No, but this is price discovery and weird stuff happens. So just be aware of that too, okay? So anyways, best practice is usually to wait for a long that either doesn't occur. If you insist on taking a long now, get some skin in the game, but don't be like one of these idiots here that took a 17 million in volume at $5.27. That has to feel pretty bad when you're that deep in the red. Anyways, just throwing it out there. All right, I've talked enough here. Thanks again so much for being an awesome part of my life. Make sure you double check Bitunix, folks. Link down below. Awesome benefits this month for volume. There is MacBook Pro, Rolex, the whole 9 yards there. But I'll post a playout chart here on Twitter, Telegram, and Discord here shortly. I look forward to working with you. I hope you all have a great rest of the day. Thanks again so much for your time. Have a good one. Take care.